The presenting sponsor of Upmarket is Aereo, the best place to grow and manage your real estate media business online at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. Coming to you from the Upmarket studio at Gasworks in beautiful San Buenaventura, California, this is Upmarket, a podcast about the business of real estate photography and media. My name is Reed Fish. I'm the CEO and a co-founder of Upmarket Media. Mark Corcoran, another co-founder.
In the house.
Oh, I thought you were just going to do a hand motion, but I'm like, this is an audio medium.
Oh, got
so you
it.
got to talk.
Right. Talk into the microphone?
Yeah, exactly. And not talking into the mic is our producer, Chelsea. She's starting to feel a little under the weather, so she didn't want a chance coming into the studio today, which is kind of bad news for us.
Yeah.
Not only of course, we always love Chelsea on the podcast, but tomorrow, we're recording this on Thursday, the 12th of September. But tomorrow, Friday the 13th, which maybe it's an apropos day.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of working out that way.
Is our giant grand opening party for our studio space here at Gasworks. And so now if Chelsea gets sick, that's bad, obviously, because we need her here because we're kind of soft launching the branding side of our business. And it was kind of the whole idea of the party. And well, we'll get into that too.
And it's like one of the huge things is like Chelsea, like actually being in person, right? Because so many people have just emailed, texted, called her on the phone. Like to actually meet her was one of the big perks of the party is to like kind of like, this is our team, come meet everyone. And like, we've had a few people now this week dropping like flies with sickness or whatever else is going on.
And Nikki is sick, and hopefully she's going to be better by tomorrow. And we all know Nikki, our photographer, because she's going to be, one of the things we're doing is we're doing a giveaway for our realtors who come and doing a stickers?
Yeah, an animated sticker GIF for social media.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to create that, and like her and her partner Chris are like. Yeah. When they get together, they're like the dynamic duo. They just get people smiling, and it's just like the perfect thing.
Well, yeah, super bubbly and fun, and so we need them doing that. And then,
So she's out maybe. Chelsea, I mean, I feel like they're going to pull through and come, but I don't know if they're going to be at 100%.
Yeah, Marco, I think, will be here.
He better be here.
Marco will be here. And you and I will be here barring something totally unforeseen. So I do want to talk a little bit about the party in terms of and obviously, what's the value for our listeners and kind of what we're, how we're going about it, what we're seeing, and I think what the benefits are of this. So we ended up inviting, I think our client list was approaching 600 people, and it was just like, that was a little overwhelming, and obviously you invite 600 people, they're not all going to come, but our space is big, but it ain't that big. Mm-hmm. And we have a nice exterior courtyard right out of our door, so the party will be kind of indoor outdoor, and there's definitely a lot of room, but
and luckily we have some kind of flexibility with some available space that tenants aren't in yet here, so we have a little bit of a flex space that we can utilize, which is going to be godsend,
it's a little industrial, but it's all right. Mm-hmm. But what we did is we went through our client list and we just flagged 300 people, and obviously our best clients, and then and then we added some people that are not our clients that we would want to try to be our clients. And as far as the RSVP goes, we're at about 200 guests, but we're feeling like more people are going to show up than that because. I think the word is when we've been out in the world and we see a realtor, they're like, "Oh man, I'm excited about your party."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, without even saying anything. And they know what's going on. Like it's on the radar for sure. A lot of people.
Well, and I think it's a confluence of a few things. This Gasworks space is really cool, and it's this new development in Ventura, and there's only 3 tenants in it so far, and these big restaurants are going in and everything, but we're really in the infancy of this space. And I think people are really curious about it.
Yeah.
And
it's right now, it's kind of a drive-by place. Oh, what is that? Looks cool. What is that? So for them to be able to get in here and see it is going to be cool.
For sure. And then, we have open bar, which I think is an enticement. And then we this fancy Mother's Tacos from who are in Napa, actually, which is 7-hour drive from here. But they're a highly regarded taco place in Napa, and they're opening their second location here in Ventura. I don't know why that is, but it's
a big gap.
But they're coming into Gasworks, and so they'll be here hopefully by the end of the year. But we contacted them, and Chelsea already had a relationship with them because they noticed she followed them on Instagram, and because she's that food influencer we always talk about. They were immediately like, "Oh yeah, we got to collaborate and do this." And so Chelsea was able to get them to cater a party. And if you go to Mother's Tacos in Napa and look at their Instagram, oh my God. I have not eaten their stuff yet, but it looks amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
We feel like super confident that it's going to be like knock out of the park kind of food. It's going to be awesome.
Well, and here's the thing. And part of the reason why we're excited about it is so listeners don't spread this around, but I will say it on the podcast. They're not charging us. For the food because they're trying to build their brand in Ventura, and they feel like, a realtor audience, 200 realtors is a good audience for them to get in front of. Cause realtors are always want to know what's hot. They're always telling everybody cause they want to seem in the know. So we were kind of taken aback, like, what, you don't want to charge? And they're like, no. We're just doing these pop-ups and we just want to, it's their marketing, right?
Yeah. Obviously they're coming to town. They have a budget for marketing and to getting the word out. So it's just part of that. And it's like, for us, it's like, wow, perfect timing, like amazing win-win.
Like, oh my God. So, and obviously we will pay them something. I mean, they said really, no, but we'll probably like give them $500 in cash to pay out their people or, something like that.
Pay for supplies or whatever they need.
Which then allowed us to kind of budget wise go a little bigger on the bar.
A little, yeah.
I know. Mark and I, we just got back. We just had to go to different liquor stores or, liquor emporiums, cause we were scoping the deals, but I think we're probably spending just on the alcohol. Just looking at the receipts, I'm going to guess it's going to be, how much did you spend? $750, and I spent $489. And I have to pick up probably another $300 in wine because we didn't even get wine yet. And then another $75 in beer. Yeah. We're looking at more like $1,600 just for the alcohol.
Yeah.
And then we'll have 4 bartenders. And so basically we got this, mobile bartending thing. And, they have bars they set up and they come with the bartenders and they have you pay them and they have all the stuff. They have all the mixers and they have waters and ice and 4
awesome
bartenders
service,
and, everything is just clean and nice. People aren't just like fishing stuff out of an ice chest.
Yeah. And they're obviously licensed bartenders and all that. That's a huge part of it.
Exactly. And so, it was one price if they supply the alcohol, but, if there's leftover alcohol, they keep the alcohol, or it's a lesser price if you supply your own. And we were like, well, we want the alcohol.
Right. It's like, we'll make a run to Bevmo.
Come on. Our listeners know enough to know that Upmarket Pod, we like our booze.
Yeah. That leftover booze may be making its way to PMRE this year.
That's right. That's right. The party in the Upmarket suite on Tuesday night, maybe after hours. And we opted to buy the alcohol because I think they were going to charge. It was like, what was it? They're going to charge $2,500 or something for the alcohol.
Yeah, they gave us a few options, and we're like, well, yeah, we will save money, but then with the leftover, and we're just like, you know what? Let us handle it this way. It makes sense.
And then we also get to choose exactly what we want. Because I know the wine wasn't going to be, up to Chelsea standards.
Right. And then the beer, they're like, oh, just go get, Modelo, whatever. Yeah. We're like, well, let's get something local and something with a bit more flavor or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So, and it's, I gotta say, I don't know if you felt this way. It's a little thrilling to walk into like a big liquor emporium and just throw down $500, $600, $700, $800, man. It's like, you feel, hey man,
I had 3 people helping me and I had the little dolly card out and they're like, what do you need, sir? What do you need? I'm like, right.
Yeah. And as I'm leaving, I'm just like, I'm just a big alcoholic.
You're like, it's going to be a good weekend.
Tonight's going to be fun.
Yeah.
So I think all told, probably the open bar is going to cost us, what did we pay them? A couple grand?
$3,200.
We paid them $3,200.
Yeah, because it went up from the original quote because our numbers went up. So yeah.
So it's $3,200 without the alcohol.
Without a bartender with no booze.
So
is
the
expensive.
bar is basically going to cost us $5,000 for an open bar.
Yeah.
Holy shit! I didn't realize it was that much.
That's kind of wild. I mean,
because I happened to be on vacation when the final say of what the bartending situation was.
Yeah, and this was the affordable option.
Right.
Because we looked at a few quotes and there were people that were way more. There was someone that we really liked, but they were considerably more. Then I remember these guys that we found. I'm like, I used them at a party and they were great. Like, let's check them out.
Jeez, but $5,000.
So this is the affordable option. Yeah. Kind of wild.
I mean, okay.
But that's why we've never done this before. Like before we had this space, before we knew mothers, whatever, like we've talked about, this would be an awesome thing for our business to do.
Yeah.
But back then we would have had to rent a space.
Right.
Find a music entertainment, which we didn't even mention. We have that thrown in for free too.
Wild Stallions is going to provide the music. So as a local DJ, happens to be one of our clients who moonlights as a DJ, and he's doing it for free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now we're not paying for we're paying for the space, but it's not like an event cost.
Yeah.
The food's covered, the entertainment, DJ's covered.
Yeah.
So really our only expense is the
alcohol.
Booze.
Yeah.
we went all in on it.
It's going to be $5,000. Yeah. And also if we provide the alcohol, we actually have to provide the insurance, but there's special event insurance you can get. It was $120. It wasn't that much.
Wow.
Yeah. So
awesome.
But still, yeah. So $5,000. So yeah, I think all in the party outside of course, all the hours that Chelsea spent that we're paying her for and, all that kind of stuff. And then it'll be the cost of the labor to make those gifts. We're going to have our VA do that, but we bought a green screen, but we would have bought a green screen anyway. And then what else? And then our staff at the party they'll be paid. So it's like every
they're not coming
every
to
hour
drink.
Everyone's here is like, okay, this is a lot of money.
They're coming to work, but they're super excited about it. And
everyone is, and so I guess what the larger point on why we're going through all this on the podcast is this is marketing, right? And this is marketing that a type of marketing we haven't ever done. And I don't know that a lot of real estate media people do it. And so I wanted to make sure that we bring our listeners along on this journey for us to kind of see if we think it's going to get results.
Right. And I mean, it's abnormal for a real estate media company to have a physical space to host an event to bring people into, right? So we feel like it's kind of not groundbreaking, but it's different, and it's just going to create a different energy and vibe for our company.
Well, and I think it's doing, the space in and of itself, it elevates our brand, but I think this is also elevating our brand because we also wanted to make sure that this party reflected our kind of not aesthetic, our kind of position in the marketplace of like kind of that high middle, right? And we wanted to, it's not going to be the fanciest party of all time. It's not a cocktail party, a dress up cocktail party, but we wanted to make sure that we have nice drinks and that the food is really good and that the atmosphere is really good and that people feel comfortable and like they have a good time. And so if they come to that, that's going to elevate our brand in their eyes.
Yeah. And we are having our best year ever, and we want to kind of show that and show people that, we're successful and we do have the space and we are lucrative. We are, we're the best thing going in town.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And then two, I do want that though, then to translate into more clients and more sales and more stuff. And so with the branding side of the business, the ability for people to know that we do that and to be here and see our podcast space and know about our Real VC podcast in a different way, I can't help but think that we're going to get some business out of it.
Yeah.
Besides
elevating, we're soft launching our lifestyle branding photography, which is
very soft launching it.
We can, get into more details on that.
We'll go in more detail on that in the second half of the show.
As we've talked about, I think several times at this point, it's like, that's like another revenue stream that we're really looking to tap into this off season, this winter.
For sure.
And it's like, we have a lot of things in place. We're going to cross a couple of hurdles at the moment, but it's not derailing us. We're still on track. No, exactly. And so I think already, and we kind of touched on it earlier, is that when we have been out in the world and we've seen realtors and we've gone to a couple events and stuff. I mean, everyone is like pumped. They're like, it's really, everyone's like, God, I'm so excited for you guys. That space looks amazing. The party looks amazing. Yeah. So I think it's really, it's creating a little bit of buzz for us. And that's like, I've kind of thought about like, there's certain things you do or marketing things you do, like you put a Facebook ad out and you can see the actual returns or who's looked at it. This is more of like an intangible kind of brand awareness, staying top of mind type of thing that's hard to like, well, we spent this much, how much are we going to get back? Like it's going to be hard to track specific returns on investment but I feel like just like you said, the buzz alone and what it's doing to our brand and what it's doing just to be able to talk about it and to get people into it.
Yeah, and I know, we had on our Real VC podcast, we had a broker on who owns a brokerage who does not use us. And we had, and part of the goal for our podcast, of course, our Ventura County Real Estate Podcast, is to engage with people who are not our clients.
Yes.
And so we had him on the podcast, and then we wanted to make sure that he was on our guest list for the party. And so we, he hadn't RSVP'd. And so I just emailed him directly. I said, I just want to make sure you got the invitation and, hope you can make it. And he's like, oh yeah, I was planning on coming. I was like, well, then why didn't you RSVP? But I didn't get into that with him. But that's, if we can convert that guy to become a client, then it's worth it right there.
Totally. Yeah. And there's a few, I feel like we have a lot of the big players in town, but there's people like him that, and you can see the quality of the work that's coming out of their office where we can make an impact and improve their marketing. And then when they get to know us personally and we're not just the name, then it's like, that relationship, that connection gets deeper. And then it's like, what? We will give you guys a shot.
And maybe it doesn't pay off for 2 years. I mean, that's the thing is you just don't know. It's the long game.
Yeah.
It's, the very, very long game. But I know, this is in a way it's similar. I mean, we're kind of trumpeting our new space, but in a way it's similar to when a realtor does their client appreciation events, right?
Yeah.
And every single time I've talked to a realtor who's done those and, we've had to like photograph them and do that kind of stuff, is they invariably say they get at least one deal out of it every single time.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, and so they were like, I spent, $15,000 on the party, but I got a $30,000 deal.
Yeah. They bring a spouse or they talk to a neighbor or whatever. Oh, and I'm thinking about selling this. And it's just the opportunity to have that conversation. And we're going to have, countless conversations. Hopefully we're not too inebriated to remember them all. But
I will be pretty drunk.
We're starting already on Thursday morning. Yeah, we need to drink.
We got some light beers here drinking right now. So maybe I'll start drinking now all the way through to the party.
Yes. Smart move.
Yeah. So we'll probably have some more party talk in the second half, but we're going to take a little quick break. We'll have our social media sidebar, and then we're going to come back and we can kind of talk about, because we haven't done a podcast together in a while. So we'll give some business updates and kind of some issues we've been having and, all that kind of stuff. And then guess what, Mark? Action items. We got them. We're going to say them on the air.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. All right. Hey, Mark, have you ever heard of a company called Aereo?
Oh, no, tell me about it. Sounds fascinating.
Aereo is, for business owners like us in the real estate media space, Aereo is probably the best place online that you can grow your business and make it more efficient.
Wow.
It's an all-in-one service where we can invoice, we can schedule, we deliver all our media to our clients. They have their little logins. They get to download stuff. It creates websites. It creates
That sounds phenomenal.
It is phenomenal. And you know what, Mark? If you start a new company that's not Upmarket Media, and therefore go to the Aereo website and sign up for a new account, you're going to get 15 free bonus listings.
All right, I'm taking notes over here.
If you use the code Upmarket. So if you,
I'm on it.
I hope you don't start a competing company to this one. But if you did, I do hope you take advantage of our discount code to get 15 bonus listings at aereo.com. That's ARYEO.com. I mean, really, check it out. They're the best.
No brainer, guys. Come on.
People have been saying that last summer was brat summer. I don't think it was. This last summer was second floor app, floor plan summer.
Floor plans all summer.
It was like the summer of floor plans. I mean, it was like floor plans were just coming everywhere. I mean, you would see floor plans at the beach. Yeah. I mean, it was just like, it was amazing.
Street, man.
Oh yeah. I mean, and especially like Gen Z, super into floor plans. Even my daughter, who's 9 years old, is just like, Dad,
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit more about floor plans?
I know. I'm getting a phone from my daughter. She's like, can I get that floor plan app on my phone? And she's just like all about it.
So you're getting her an iPhone. That's great. Good job, Mark. Yeah. I mean, you're going to ruin her self-esteem because she'll have access to social media, but I think it'll be worth it for the access to floor plans.
Yeah. I'm going to block TikTok and open up Second Floor.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So Second Floor app is like the fastest way that you can make a floor plan for your client. So you're going to walk through the house. It's going to take you like 5 minutes. You do a little scan, instantly floor plan's ready.
Yeah.
And it's got GLA. It's got room measurements. It's adjustable. It's a whole thing.
Come on.
I mean, geez, come on. Secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. You're going to get a free month of service. And there's no numbers in that URL. They spell the whole thing out. Secondfloorapp.com/upmarket. Get a free month of service, and you're going to be able to deliver floor plans to your clients instantly and upcharge them through the wazoo for those said floor plans. Check it out. Social media sidebar time. Well, look, before we talk social media, let's talk the real business of like getting in there and reviewing and rating and subscribing to Upmarket Pod.
Bring on the love, people.
This space, we just dropping $5,000 on the party. So we need to grow this podcast so we can charge these lovely advertisers more money. We want to see a return. So get out there, help out your pals at Upmarket Pod, rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. And also follow us, Upmarket Pod, on what is that? Instagram.
There it is.
Yeah.
Keep sending us your DMs. We love hearing your feedback. It's
absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely. As long as it's good. And then, Mark, we're also upmarket.media if you want to see some houses that we're shooting.
The doozies. Yeah. We got a new cinematic Twilight video we're dropping soon, so keep an eye for that.
All right.
It's a hot one.
Oh, super hot. Super hot. Well, it is hot. It is hot because I just saw I just saw the video, and in one of the shots you can see off in the distance the hills on fire.
Yeah. 40,000 acre fire in the hills. That's really fun.
Yeah. It's really,
so welcome to Southern California.
Well, and that's the nice thing is when you do the cinematic Twilight video, it's kind of nighttime for some of those shots, and it's like, the fire just glows orange. It's beautiful.
I know. Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah. So, and I think on, for social media, I think it just kind of same old a little bit. But I know, we've kind of offloaded to Chelsea a little bit more, and like she's been getting in there, and you're not having to post as much, right?
Not as much, no. And we're working out the kinks. There'll be a week where I'm like, we're not posting that much, and I'll jump back in. Or Chelsea needs a day off, where she's sitting, and it's just
No, it's just the way it goes. This business, man. This business.
Yeah. So, but it's working out. I'm happy with where we're at with it.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Because I don't do anything.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah. Oh, come on.
Well, and we just had, we have our clients, and then we're starting to do like more on camera stuff with agents. And we're finding that when they're posting stuff, we were always trying to collaborate with them, but now we're finding it's coming back the other way.
Oh, is it? Oh, nice.
So for us, it's like, that's like, shoot, they post for us and tag us, collaborate. It's like one less thing we have to do.
Dude, collaboration posts are like the way, man. Yeah. It's like the best, just absolute best.
Especially a three-way collaboration. You got to try that one.
I've tried a three-way collaboration before. Yeah, it was fun.
Best night of your life.
It was actually in the day.
Oh, my bad. But then we got the agent, us, and the stager, and we get all three audiences. I mean, it's like it just blows the thing up way better.
Our social media is blowing up, everybody.
Man,
all right, so go check it out, upmarket.media. Hey, we'll be right back with some more show. Mark, how are things going with the business outside of this amazing party that we're throwing tomorrow?
Well, we always try to be honest with our listeners. It's like scaling your business is super fun and exciting, and it's like brings a lot of rewards, but there's definitely some bumps in the road, and it doesn't always go exactly how you want it to. Yeah. And when you have a small team of people, it's just, certain things happen. People don't quite pan out how you want them to. Some people exceed your expectations.
Yes.
And we're just in that place of like, man, we're like not struggling. We have our core team, which we're still solid on. But we've brought in some additional people, and things haven't quite worked out how we wanted to.
Yeah. So basically, we did hire a third shooter a few months ago. Who's wonderful, love her.
Yeah.
But it kind of but we went a different route. It was someone who was a little bit on the younger side, actually still in college and junior college. And it was like, oh, this is great. She still lives at home. She's a responsible person, and she has a flexible schedule, or not, even less that is flexible. She has openings in her schedule that she would love to work. And, and
we felt like she could kind of be that overflow person that didn't need the work, but, wanted hours. And if we had time and, shoots or Matterport or whatever we needed to feed her, that we could.
Right. And so then it proved a bit difficult to train her because with that schedule, though, then she had commitments, and then all of a sudden it's finals and it's this and it's that. And so it was hard to kind of get into a rhythm to find those hours to train her consistently, right?
Yeah.
Because you train someone for like a day and then they don't come back for 2 weeks. It's hard to keep that going.
This is whatever. There were just like a lot of details. Like she was probably the greenest, I guess, as far as photography skill set and background that we've hired. So there were certain things when you've been doing it for so long that you just don't even think about explaining. But I kind of had to backpedal a bit and go over a few things more times than I thought I would need to or whatever. And it was definitely the slowest training process. And the fact, like you said, that it was so spread out just made it even more difficult.
Well, yeah. And, but at the same time, I mean, she did a really good job. I mean, she picked it up and did good work.
Yeah. When we got to that point where we set her free and we, picked and choose what would suit her, and she did a great job, and she even got a 5-star review on the first week of being out there.
Yeah,
I mean,
Google,
it was
a Google review from a new client used her, and there you go, 5 stars.
Yeah.
And then as kind of the new semester geared up here in the last couple of weeks for college, it's just all of a sudden we noticed because what we do with our shooters is basically we have the shared Google Calendar, and when they aren't available, they just mark when they're not available. And she just marked a hell of a lot of time being not available. In fact, it was really going to be, she was basically like, oh, I'm available on Fridays. Hey, great. We love it. And on the weekends. Oh, not so helpful because we don't shoot on the weekends. And why do we not shoot on the weekends? Is a few reasons. We'll do it, of course, on occasion, but, and I would love to offer Saturday shooting, but, we find that when you do have people out in the field on a Saturday or any day, that you do need admin support for that. And so that means if someone's out shooting, then someone needs to be adminning. And that someone would be me or Mark, and neither of us want to do that.
They get to the
Saturdays.
Property. Oh, I can't find the lockbox. The agent's not here. There's issues that come up that they can't resolve themselves. So you need that support.
Yeah. So anyway, so basically, then it was going to be 1 day a week of availability, and it was just like, oh, and then all of a sudden you're looking, well, over the next month, actually 3 of those Fridays you've already marked off for other reasons, and whatever, all that stuff is more important than this job. I mean, we don't want
that's the priority in her life, and that's fine. And it's
and school should be a bigger priority over your college job. I mean, that's I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Right.
But it's just then, for us, there has to be the availability. And
and it was coming off the tail end because she just started the new semester. She needed she took a couple of weeks completely off to kind of adjust and figure out what it was going to be. And then she came back, and then I noticed without her saying anything that the schedule, I was like, whoa, can you do anything? So it's like, all right, let me call her, had an honest conversation with her. She was kind of like, I still want to try to pick up shoots, but I understand that, me sitting here with all this equipment 6 days a week, not using it doesn't really make sense. And maybe it's not the best fit. So we kind of had a little bit of back and forth, and then I was on the fence, and then she kind of decided for me. I was like, you know what? This isn't really a good fit for me right now. Maybe down the road it will be, but
Yeah, and that's the thing is it wasn't personality, it wasn't quality of work, it wasn't. It was just about, hey, this schedule wise, it's just not going to work, and so that sucks.
Yeah, it's frustrating just because we're it hasn't been that long since we just kind of trained her up and set her free.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like,
no, and that's the thing is it's a lot of it wasn't a lot of money spent on training really, but we pay people during their training period, but it was a lot of Mark's time for sure. And so it is a little disappointing that it didn't work out.
Right. And it's also, the other thing that I think we mentioned a couple episodes back is getting her certified to fly the drone was like, she took the test multiple times, and it was just that the whole thing was a headache. And and it's like, we finally were like, all right, she's in a good place. And then, but that's, so that just kind of, again, circles us back to our core team, Nikki, Marco, myself. And it's like, you just appreciate those two even more now. It's like they're kind of even elevated more.
Great. They're listening to this and going to ask for a raise. I know it. Jeez, this is terrible. And then it just happened today, actually, so we can talk about that too, is, and the reason we're very soft launching our branding side of the business is that, we had lined up a branding photographer. She is actually on the podcast a few episodes ago. And then she just kind of figured out this morning, or, and it's been in the air for a little bit, that it's not the right fit for her.
Yeah. Wasn't quite what she was hoping for. Or it's like, And it's,
I mean, obviously she's super loved us, but it wasn't, it was,
I don't think we had I guess it was a bit of a bumpy start. Because we did kind of the way we wanted to launch it is we handpicked a few people that we wanted to work with and kind of offer it as a free service to build up a portfolio and for her to gain confidence. And I think what she was producing was great. But we had some feedback and some tweaks, and that wasn't received that well. And it got to this point where it's like, I think it wasn't fun and creative for her. And it was just like,
and I think it was more of just like, she's got 3 young kids. Yeah. And it's like, it's just not, there just wasn't enough time or energy. Mm-hmm. And I think she wanted photography to feel fun and not feel like a job. And so this is going to feel like a job because it's like, okay, these photos are great, but we need to do this, we need to do that. And it's like, then it kind of takes the fun out of it.
Right.
I mean, I know, like if you want to have photography feel creative, and when you're doing it for money, it can just like my creative eye for photography is gone at this point. It's
especially doing what we do. It's just like, man, it's just like, you don't want to pick up a camera on your spare time. It's just like the last thing you want to do, right?
So, and I think it was like, and with her, it was a great fit in so many ways. And I think had she had more time and mental space and didn't have like very, very young children, I think it would have worked out. I really do.
I think so too. And what we loved is that she was just so excited to do it. Like we were like, we wanted to do it, and we know that it's a good thing for our business, but none of us were excited to have that person that was like energized and into it. And it was like a little bit green, but they were just with a few little tweaks, like it would have been like a home run.
Yeah, exactly.
So, it just didn't quite pan out. But, like we said, we're not going to let that derail. We're not going to, one part of you is just like, forget it. This is not going to work out. Just can that whole side of it. But
we got 9 more months of the lease in here, so we got to make some money.
We're only taking up a third of the space with this podcast. We got to use the rest of it.
What's the plan? And too bad she's not here on the podcast to talk about it, but our new branding photographer is Chelsea.
She is, and our new admin is Reed.
Oh, shit. Oh, no. Wait, hold on. I didn't know about that part.
Reed and Mark, of course. But Chelsea is kind of, as we've talked about, she's heading this kind of department, this branding thing, and she's very skilled photographer. She hasn't really had the full desire to do it, but now that we have this kind of gap that we need to fill and that we're trying to launch, then she's the perfect person, I think, to step into it for now, figure out our systems and what our workflows are, and then find that person to replace her.
So she has experience in this type of photography, and I really don't think that she's really keen on doing it much. But I think there's a couple things that maybe are mitigating, and it is because she has the creative vision for the whole thing, and it's like, obviously we have to kind of do what our clients want, but this is a little bit on her shoulders. And so within that, I think if she's going to be the branding photographer, at least in the beginning, then she can create the aesthetic. She can create all the workflows and everything else that we want to have for this. And then whenever we do bring on somebody else, that then they can fit into what we're already doing. And it'll be very clear as to, hey, this is what we do in our shoots, and this is how we want them to look. And then the other thing I think that is mitigating for her is that we did decide along the way here that we were definitely going to outsource the editing. Chelsea's least favorite part about photography is the editing. So if she just has to cull some pictures and then send her to the editors and give notes, I think that is a giant relief for her. because I think in so much of that kind of branding photography that she's done in the past, she's been editing her own photos, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like we've talked about this could go one of two ways, right? It could be like she actually starts doing it and she enjoys being away from her desk and like starting to get into it. And then maybe instead of replacing her with the photography, we get more admin help.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
have her in the field. If she's, fulfilled that way, then that's great. Then we can.
Well, no, and that's the idea, right? Is that we have this side of our business that actually, generates enough money to pay Chelsea's salary and for us to make a profit on it. And and that, that's the dream. And then we can, always hire more admin help.
Totally. Yeah. Or she may start doing it and just, this is just like, put me back on my computer. I don't want to see any people. I'm sick of seeing realtors. And then, you said, we have the systems and we find that person to fill that role.
Totally. And so we'll, I'm a little, I don't know, man. There's just a lot going on.
There is a lot.
And I got other stuff going on that
we both do. Yeah. I mean, everyone does. My life is brutal right now.
Yeah.
But I think bigger picture, like stepping back, what we were hoping for the party is to have a section of our studio displaying all of our branding stuff that we've been working on, have all our packages laid out, everything dialed in, have a QR code. Oh, come and scan the QR code. Yeah. Here's a discount codes, and people would literally start signing up for branding shoots like next week.
Yeah. That's not happening.
We're not quite that far down the road yet.
No, that's not happening. So we will soft launch it though. And so in a way it's kind of maybe can be a little more effective. No, I don't know about more effective, but it does feel a little softer. And maybe it's good that people aren't going to come in and just see this whole thing and feel like, oh, this is just for us to
just a big promo.
A big promo. When of course it is just a big promo, but if it doesn't feel like it, maybe that's better. So we can just talk about it. Say, oh yeah, we got this whole branding site. Hey, look out, we're going to send emails. We're going to launch this thing, and
it's coming your way.
It's going to be great. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I think there's still a ton of value in that.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not at the point, forget the party, forget that. It's just like, no, it's just like, you know what? Let's just dial it back. We'll reset a little bit and just, keep pushing forward.
Yeah, totally. Well, I do, before we end, that's been a little hard, but I did want to talk about a little bit about something that's been very good is, we sat down with our quarterly meeting with our bookkeeper last week or 2 weeks ago. Yeah. And man, it's been a good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We normally not dread, but I'm just like, I don't enjoy those meetings. They're not fun. I don't look forward to it. You usually come away like, all right, we got to work on this and do that. But we came away from it. We're like, man.
But our profit is up like 400% or something. I mean, it's just like, it was like insane. I mean, or more. I mean, I don't know. It's just like basically the different, it's a couple of things. The market has been way better without question. Yeah. There's been more houses coming on the market.
Listings, 100%.
But it's still not like going crazy with listings. But through our marketing, we have gotten more clients. And I know we've talked about this on here many times about we're just keep getting all these new clients and that's stayed true. And then of course, the average spend per property is a little bit higher because we've raised prices and because of people are ordering more services. So, and I know we felt it just in looking at our bank account, that it's been a different story this year than last. Because last year, there's definitely a lot of times where you're like, okay, if we just do an okay this week, we can make payroll.
Right. We can pay ourselves, our people.
Yeah.
Don't need to go sell a kidney.
Yeah. And this year we're like, okay. And we had to have the conversation of Jeff of like, with our, business advisor, Jeff of like, so Jeff, how much money do we have to keep in the business? Right. What can we pull for ourselves, for our personal lives? And he's like, well, you just need, 3 months of
3 months of expenses. Yeah. Sitting there for an emergency, wildfire, whatever happens.
Don't have quite that, but
but it really feels good. I know we're coming off the busiest part of the year. So it's like, let's talk again in December, I feel like we came off the quote unquote busiest part of the year last year and had like $40. I know. Yeah. Now we have the biggest cushion we've ever had. And I have no stress going into the slower season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No. And that's the thing is I feel like if we, I don't know, by the end of September, if after September 30th, if we didn't make another dollar for the rest of the year, we would make it. through. I mean,
totally.
that would not be great, but you know, but we would be okay.
Yeah. And that's a place that's hard to get to in this business with the ups and downs and the seasonality and just the way the market runs. So
listen to all our old podcasts because apparently we're doing something right.
Yeah,
so,
we got it all figured out.
Yeah, all figured out now. So, but I really do think that's made all these things possible. It's made this space possible. It's made I think just feeling a little bit lighter, so that even when these things that aren't so great happen, you can just sleep on a pile of money.
Right.
And it's just
it's a cushy pillow.
Good. Yeah. You sleep so good on those. So
nothing, I just feel like none of this stuff can derail us at this point. We're just like, the bread and butter of what we're doing is solid. And this other stuff is just, we'll work it out.
Totally. And I think another one of the reasons that we've done so well is we took a lot of action in this last year or so to kind of transform our business into the juggernaut that it is, which means it's time for our action items, which are sponsored by Pixel CRM. Pixel CRM is the only CRM out there that was designed by a real estate photographer for real estate media professionals. We've been using Pixel CRM. And it's been great. And we still, and I think one of our summer projects is going to be diving more into Pixel CRM and having it do more for us. Yeah. But already all the stuff it does, we're doing our mailing list, we're doing the reviews, we're doing a few other things. I mean, it's been really fantastic. So go to pixelcrm.com/upmarket and you are going to get a risk-free 30-day trial. Pretty exciting. On, people. Yeah. The one thing about pixelcrm.com, it's pixlcrm.com. There's no E. Mm-hmm.
It's the hip pixel.
Pixelcrm.com. It looks like I need to go first.
You do,
here.
Yeah. I'm still simmering here.
Okay. It's an easy one. It's simple. Have an event. Now, look, you don't have to spend $5,000 on an open bar like Upmarket does. You don't have to go Upmarket style, but I think anything, and even if it's a small one, even if it's just like, your top 10 clients or whatever, have something, I don't know. I'm just like, now I'm like, well, we'll see how, we'll do the recap of the event on the next podcast where we're all together. But I can already see the value in it so much that like, even if you have to spend a little more money than you're comfortable with, and to be clear, $5,000 for an open bar is more money than I'm comfortable with. But
you could have a small wedding for that, right?
Yeah. Well, not anymore. I don't know. But I do think there is a ton of value in having a client event, and there's so many different things you can do. You could be creative about it, and obviously, a lot of people don't have a studio space to have an opening party, but there's still other things you can do.
Yeah. So when else are you going to have 200 to 300 people of your client? In the same room. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Hopefully.
Hopefully you and I don't get sick. Either way, we'll be rolled on a gurney.
We get 26 hours. We have to make it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right on. So, I like it. All right. So my action item, talking about our team and all the challenges we've had and coming back to kind of our core team. I had a big shoot that I did with Marco out of the area the other day. So we had to drive, going down in traffic. It was 2 hours. Coming back, it was an hour plus. So we spent there's no point in both of us driving. I'll just drive and Marco can jump in. So literally spent 3.5 hours in the car with Marco.
Oh, how'd that go?
And it was great.
Good.
I came away from it thinking that was, I just felt more connected with him. You talk about all kinds of stuff. Mostly we're talking about, remember this shoot we did? And it was this guy. I didn't know. Ragging on realtors or just funny stories.
That's good. Ragging on realtors is a good connector.
That's my favorite thing to do. But we just, I got, he was vulnerable about certain things going on in his life and talking about his family or whatever. It was just like, I don't know. I just felt like I could see him. Right. And it was like, we felt more connected after that without even saying it.
Right.
So I just feel like, especially if you have core team members like that, get to know your team, I guess is my action item a little bit deeper. It's hard when you have that relationship that you want to, you don't want to be best buddies with them, but you want to.
There's a fine line, but being captive in a car for a couple hours is a good moment, so.
Things just come up. So I really walked away from that thinking, I know what things are important to Marco, what he's dealing with, why he needs certain hours or what his availability is. And we just felt kind of more connected. Well, he felt seen, I think, and it just felt good.
One, it gives you empathy for what they're, of like, I know he can't work on Fridays or whatever it is, right? And I get it,
Right. Instead of being, being frustrated, actually connecting as, human to human, it felt really good. So.
Right.
That's my action item. If you got a team and you got people that are really important to your business, like kind of dig in a little bit deeper.
Right. Well, we're going to be in the car together for like 3 or 4 hours going to PMRE in a couple months.
We are.
So, yeah.
Counting the days for that one.
I have to be vulnerable with Mark. All right. Hey, and Mark, thanks for doing this. I know we had to squeeze it in today, and who else I want to thank is our listeners. Thank you, listeners. You're the reason Upmarket at Gasworks even exists.
That's true.
Yeah. So thank you so much, everyone. And we will be back with a lot more podcasting coming up. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Upmarket is a production of Upmarket Studios. This episode was produced by Chelsea Froelich and edited by Bethany Diedrich. Thank you so much for listening, and we really hope you listen to the next one too. In the meantime, our wish for you is to not have to shoot any Friday night Twilight shoots. Thank you for everything.